These are 10 best free co-op games to play with your partner. The first game we have is Split Fiction, which I am sure you already know, and this one is kind of wild because you're basically jumping between different stories that don't even belong together, but somehow it works. You and your partner are constantly switching up gameplay styles, like 1 minute it's platforming, next minute it's something completely different, and you barely have time to adjust before the game throws something new at you. This game really leans hard into co-op, like you have to communicate, otherwise you're just gonna stand there confused while your friend runs off doing something important. It never really feels repetitive because just when you think you figured it out. I had a lot of fun with this one, mostly because it keeps things fresh and doesn't let you get comfortable. Then we have this game called Peak, and this one is a more on the cozy side of things with a lot of climbing, and I mean a lot of climbing. You guys are trying to scale these huge mountains, helping each other up, setting ropes, and praying that one of you doesn't slip and ruin everything. It's slow, it's tense, and it's surprisingly stressful, especially when you're almost at the top and someone makes one wrong move. Communication is everything here because if one of you messes up, both of you suffer, which is just beautiful game design, honestly. It's not action-packed, but it keeps you locked in the whole time, and when you finally make progress, it actually feels earned. Then we have this next game called LEGO Voyagers. It's not really indie, but I think it's worth mentioning here. It's LEGO, so you already know what you're getting into, but in a good way. You're running around breaking stuff, collecting shiny things, solving simple puzzles, and just having a good time with a friend. It's not super hard, and that's kind of the point. It's more about chilling and laughing when something dumb happens. You don't need big brain plays here, just teamwork, occasional button mashing, and the ability to not take things seriously. Honestly, this is one of those games you play when you just want to relax and still feel like you're doing something together. What we have is called Moving Out, and in this game, you are basically like professional movers, but in the worst way possible. You and your partner are trying to move furniture out of houses, except nothing goes smoothly, and physics is just a suggestion. You're throwing couches out of windows, smashing through doors, and yelling at your friend to lift their side properly, which they never do. It starts off simple, like just move this sofa, but then the game is like, what if the house was on fire? Or what if there were ghosts? And suddenly everything is mayhem. The fun part is that the game doesn't really care how you do things, as long as the furniture ends up outside, which leads to some very questionable strategies. I had a really fun time with this one because it's less about skill and more about pure teamwork and laughing at how bad everything goes. If you want a game that will either strengthen your friendship or completely destroy it, yeah, this is the one. Someone recommended this game called Risk of Rain 2, and I am glad they did because this game is more fun than I imagined it'd be for friends. You're dropping into these alien planets with your friends, shooting everything that moves, collecting items, and slowly turning into an unstoppable monster until you're not. The longer you stay alive, the harder the game gets, so you're constantly making decisions like, do we keep going or do we leave before this gets ugly? No run ever feels the same because of how random everything is, and that's what makes it so addictive. You can even play this game solo, but with friends, it becomes way more fun. I had a blast with this one, especially when everything goes wrong at the same time. Then we have this next game, which is called Unraveled 2, and this one is more chill, but also low-key stressful if your partner is just starting out with games. You both play as these tiny yarn people, and you're basically tied together, which is kind of cute, but also annoying when one of you falls and drags the other one into the void. It's more of a thinker than a doer. You're solving puzzles, swinging using yarn, pulling stuff, and figuring out how to move forward together. The game looks beautiful, like actually really nice to look at, and the vibes are calm until your partner messes up again. It's not super fast-paced, but that's kind of the point. You take your time, work together, and slowly make progress. It's a great game if you want something relaxing but still co-op focused. Then we have Portal 2, and yeah, this one is a classic for a reason. In this game, you and your friend are basically shooting portals everywhere and pretending you're smart until you're not. It's all about puzzles, timing, communication, and yelling. It can also be played alone, but the puzzles are fun with a friend. But now you have to rely on someone else's brain, which is risky. You're jumping through portals, launching yourselves across rooms, pressing buttons, and slowly realizing that one of you is definitely smarter than the other. The humor in this game is also top tier, like it's just roasting you the whole time. If you want a game that actually makes you think and laugh while failing repeatedly, this one is perfect. Then we have Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, which sounds romantic, but don't be fooled. This game will test your relationship. You're both inside this round spaceship, and the whole thing is about multitasking like crazy. 1 second you're driving, then you're shooting, then you're shielding, and meanwhile enemies are coming from everywhere. The fun part is that you can't do everything at once, so you have to constantly switch roles and trust your friend to not mess up, which they will, a lot. It's fast, colorful, chaotic, and honestly feels like pure co-op madness. There's no chill here, just panic and teamwork, and somehow it works really well. Then we got Full Metal Furies, which I think is super underrated. It's an action-heavy game, like straight-up fighting stuff together. You're picking characters, each with different abilities, and just going wild on enemies. It looks simple at first, but there's actually a lot going on, especially when fights get intense and you have to actually coordinate. It's not just button mashing, unless you want to die a lot. The co-op aspect is strong here, because each character plays differently, so teamwork actually matters. I had a really good time with this one because it's just pure action with friends, no overthinking, just good old chaos. And I saved the best game for the last. I am talking about It Takes Two. If you don't know, in this game, you are basically like running around as two tiny angry spouses who got turned into dolls, which already sounds insane, but trust me, it works. You're shooting stuff, swinging around, breaking things, solving puzzles, and constantly yelling at your friend to do their part. This game is like built only for co-op. There's so much variety here when it comes to gameplay. One moment you're platforming, next moment you're flying, then suddenly you're in a boss fight that makes no sense but is still kinda awesome. It never gets boring because the game keeps throwing new ideas at you every 5 minutes. I really had a fun time with this one, especially because half the fun is messing up and blaming your friend. So yeah, if you got someone to play with, this one is a must, no excuses.